A narcissistic discard can feel like the end of the world. It's something that we're not prepared for. It comes out of nowhere, and it is one of the most hurtful things that you can go through if you are in a relationship with someone who is narcissistic. Really, what this is, the ultimate rejection, and it will have an effect on your self-worth. Even though you may still not understand fully what is actually happening, because quite frankly, you're probably in survival mode right now, I'm going to tell you that this is the ultimate compliment you could have received. I've said this for years all over social media, and some people don't really understand what I mean by how could this possibly be a compliment. This was a compliment because you could no longer give this person what it was that they wanted. That may bruise your ego, that may hurt your heart. You may think, well, I guess I wasn't good enough and that's why this person did what they did, but hear me out. Narcissists thrive on control and admiration. We know this. They need emotional supply. So if they discarded you, it's not because you weren't good enough. It's because you were too strong, too aware, and could no longer be a part of that toxic cycle that you were in. You were no longer giving them what it was that they actually needed from you, which was control. Now, you may think, wait a minute, Steph, I am a mess right now. I feel weak. I don't feel like myself whatsoever. How could I possibly be the strong one? You may not feel strong right now, but this person could see past how weak you feel in this moment. They know that you could no longer be easily manipulated. Narcissists only keep people around if they know that they can control them. So if you have moments where you felt like you were weak, that's one thing. But if the overall consistency with you is that you are not going to tolerate something, you're strong. The moment you started even the slightest bit standing up for yourself, the slightest bit questioning their behavior, they were out. You starting to set even the littlest boundary whatsoever is a threat to them. If they discarded you, then what happened was they were learning that you were getting harder to control and manipulate. And that's a win for you. That's actually not something that we should mourn, even though I know you're hurt and I know it is the ultimate rejection. But at the end of all of this, you will see the bigger picture that you actually won. And I don't mean saying that and coming from your ego. I mean truly understanding just how much of a blessing and a benefit this will be for you. The truth is you were too strong for them. You may not feel like that right now, but that is the pattern. That is who you are at your core. Narcissists, all of them, only need people in their life that will tolerate their behavior, that will enable who they are. And that's why they're in relationships. So if this person moves on and they're in a relationship with someone else, and maybe that relationship is lasting forever, and you're like, wait a minute, where's the karma here? The karma is for you, not for them. See, you think karma for them is this next person that they're in a relationship with doing the same thing to them that they did to you. That's not them suffering. They are already actually suffering because they cannot be in the type of relationship that you would want to be in. They have an inability to emotionally connect. Relationships don't mean the same to them that they mean to you. That is a person who is emotionally wounded, damaged, and suffering inside. If they discarded you, that is because they knew that you were waking up to all of the games, to the abusive cycle, to the back and forth. Maybe you were holding them accountable and they just didn't like it. Because of that inner strength that you have way deep down, you may have gone through some stuff in this relationship where now you're insecure, now you struggle to know who you are, you may have lost yourself along the way, all of those things, but your core is that you are a strong, capable person. Your core is that you know exactly what was going on. Your core is that you were even the tiniest bit trying to have a normal relationship with this person. They knew that, they saw that, and that's why they left. And they left, and this is the hard thing, and depending on where you are in this process, this might not be the thing that you want to hear. They left because they were never actually in it, but they will never be in it with anyone because they have an inability to. So this isn't a personal attack on you that they just couldn't get there for you. They can't be there for anyone. They will never, ever be a different person, no matter who the next person is. The only way they will ever appear to be different is whether or not they can control the next person. Would you rather be in a relationship with someone who's controlling you, who's abusing you, and you're riddled with anxiety and you're stressed out of your mind and you don't feel like you can emotionally connect to this person and you don't have the strong relationship with them that you know you actually would like, just to have this person actually pick you? Or would you rather have them leave you because they know they can't control you, which is a good thing, which is the ultimate compliment, and you move on to actually find the relationship that you want and deserve. Since we all know that narcissists crave supply and they need it consistently, you were not a person that was consistent. You may have fed into them, you may have given them some things, you may have looked the other way, you may have done things throughout the relationship where you were a good source at some point, but you weren't consistent with it. And that inconsistency for them was the red flag. The inconsistency is not that you weren't the best girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, partner for them. It was that you can't be that person because that's not who you are. You are not a person that wants to be controlled, manipulated, walked all over. You're trying to have a normal relationship with someone who has an inability to actually connect with another human being. And that's where the problem lies. Discard isn't about what you could or couldn't do or how consistent you were. It's just about the fact that this person wants to get something from you that they know they can no longer get. So they would rather start a new relationship with someone else that believes the story, that believes the lie, that believes the smear campaign all about you and how they're the victim. They're just moving on to another person that's going to believe all the stories that they want to create on who they actually are, until that person actually wakes up too. Now, the problem is if that person ever wakes up, which maybe they don't, maybe they stay stuck in an abusive relationship for the rest of their life. But let's say, because majority of people do actually wake up, 99.9% of the time they will. When they do it, who knows? How long it takes, who knows? But majority will all wake up at some point to who this person actually is. The question becomes, what will they do about it? Will they be strong enough to leave? Will they have the courage to actually walk away from that relationship? Will they have the self-esteem to say, you know what, I don't like this and I don't like the way this makes me feel? And will they start holding this person to the same boundaries and accountability that you did? Because if they do, the same cycle is going to happen again. If they don't wake up to who this person actually is, then the relationship will continue and it will be a completely emotionless, toxic, controlling, manipulative relationship that they've ever been in. In a lot of cases, narcissists are very aware as to who they're in relationships with. So they know, and I'm just going to use terms and throw them out there, but they know they're in a relationship with a doormat, with a trophy wife or a trophy husband, or a person that just has very little standards and absolutely no self-esteem. So a narcissist sometimes will actually do the discard before you do it on them. So if they know, okay, look, I know you're a little bit of a spitfire, but I'm going to see how far I can go with this to see if I can actually control you. And once they learn that can't happen, they're going to leave you before they know at some point that you would probably leave them because you're not willing to put up with this any longer. A narcissist is kind of like a borderline personality disorder person where they absolutely fear abandonment. And so they will do something to try to avoid it at all costs. They can't stand the thought of being rejected or being let go or being abandoned. So instead, they're going to do it first because this keeps the power with them. You actually discarded them a long time ago. You just physically maybe didn't leave the relationship, but you holding them accountable, you setting boundaries, you telling this person what you think, how you feel, all of those things that they didn't want you to do was you starting to kind of pull away. The greatest gift that you have now is that you actually get to get your life back together. The biggest compliment in all of this is that you're actually free to meet the person that you deserve to be in a relationship with. Now, the work that comes into play for you is actually believing that that's going to happen for you, that you deserve that there isn't a shadow of a doubt in your mind that you're not going to meet the love of your life. Because a discard does affect your self-esteem, it does affect your self-worth, it affects how you feel about yourself. So the work that comes into play now is not just rebuilding yourself because you got discarded, but rebuilding yourself because probably there were some cracks in all of those things even before you even met this person. This pain that you're feeling right now, it's only here to kind of open the window, open the door to all the things that you should be looking at. And it's not just your relationship with this person, but it's who you are and what you have been through throughout the course of your life that has led you to the point where you were even attracted to this person, because chances are there were red flags that you overlooked. That strength is still inside of you, and I hope that gives you fuel to understand that you deserve better than what you received. I know it's heartbreaking to learn that this person just wasn't in it in the way that you were. For me, that was probably one of the most devastating things that I had to accept, that I loved and cared for this person in a way that they just didn't for me. It was not on the same level. And so you were basically in a relationship with someone that is living on a completely different planet in terms of what a relationship means to them. And that's where I started gaining some clarity, and I started understanding just the differences between him and I, and how we viewed relationships and how we wanted our relationships to be. Once you kind of remove your ego to the fact that you got discarded for someone else, and you're not so offended, or you don't look at that new person or that new supply or that new girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and feel jealous or compare yourself to that person. You understand that person really and truly, and I know, again, this may trigger some people. They may not want to hear this, but that person is a victim. That person believes the character that this person is portraying, that this narcissist is portraying, and that's a victim. Now, whether or not they want to acknowledge that, whether or not they ever acknowledge that, that has nothing to do with you. Healing from these relationships goes so much deeper than just the surface level things of, oh, he left me for someone else, or she left me for another man. It goes beyond that. It goes way deeper within your own self. And when you start really getting that stuff and bringing that stuff to the surface, your life does change in such a way that I can't even express to you in this video. You can only really understand if you've gone through the process yourself, just how much it changes yourself, which in turn will then change your life. So you will meet the great person. You will have the money. You will have the business. You will have the friends. You will have the house. Like, you will do it all once you learn how to heal yourself and learn how to parent yourself and learn how to take care of yourself emotionally and mentally. Because really, those are the only things that are stopping you from moving on, rebuilding your life, having the things that you want in your life, is how you actually take care of yourself. And this is just a little flick in the road and for you to get to where you actually want to be. So I hope this gave you some validation. If you are interested in working with me, please comment down below. I'll send you some links. I actually put all the links down below as well. Remember, when you go on YouTube, on your For You page, which is the first page that opens up when you open up the app, that is your For You page. So if you do not see any of my videos, make sure you hit subscribe and you click on the subscription button down below, and all of my videos will pop up there. I hope you guys are well. Please like this video. It definitely helps me out and helps the channel. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. I hope you're well. Take care.